question, because see, everything that works in other communities may not work in our community. Okay, because I've noticed when I move around, and this is just a question, okay, when I move around, some of these people who in their community where they take care of the imam, where they pay him a salary, they look down on the imam socially, okay, and they don't treat him well. They may pay him a salary, but they're not treating him well, and they're not viewing him well. Have you experienced that?
That's because if it's the immigrant community, unfortunately, I lived in the Muslim world. Unfortunately, the imams are poor in some Muslim countries. The poor Muslim countries, sometimes the imam is poor. The sheikh, sometimes he's poor. Sometimes he's got money. Sometimes the government take care of him. Different countries, different situations. But the reason why they look down at you, and this is why the brother asked Hanif about having the master having his own money. When somebody's giving you money, basically they own you. You got me? Right. So if your survival based on somebody giving you donations, that's why they look down at you. I give you an example. There's a sheikh here. I see a brother post him. He's from Canada. There's a sheikh from Canada. I met him. I lived in Canada for 2 years in Vancouver, right? It's Sheikh Yunus. He is originally from South Africa. And I first met the sheikh, and one day me and him was talking privately, right? And the sheikh was telling me he does not take money. He does not take money for his position from the people. He said Saudi pays him, gives him a stipend. Saudi government pays him a stipend, right? He said that, and I asked him why you don't take the money. He said because if you take money from people in the community, this is going to happen. You as an imam. So the guy who give you the most money in donations, he might have an issue with somebody else. So don't give too much, or don't give nothing at all. And they might ask you, hey man, be a judge between us. You might be unfair because you know that if you give the wrong judgment against the guy who's giving you money, you ain't gonna get no salary. You're gonna have problems with your money. So some communities, not all, I never got that feeling when I worked before. I never got that feeling. But in the immigrant Muslim community, like maybe all Desi or Arab, sometimes the people are like that. Sometimes, not all the time. Sometimes they respect the sheikh. Sometimes they respect the sheikh. I don't lie. As an imam before with the black community, I had problems. But when I was with the immigrant Muslim community, I didn't have too much problem with the people, except for one or two. But most of the people, even today, I stopped working for 3 years as an imam. 3 years. To this day, I go on the street where I live because a lot of Bangladeshi here, and I didn't even work as an imam in this area, in a different area. I walk in the street, people be stopping me in the street. Oh, brother, I remember you. You gave this football there. People stop me in the middle of the street and stop me. Hey, brother, man, I ain't seen you in a while. Come. Can you talk to my son for me? And these Muslims, not America. They're not like originally from America. They see me because they thinking about Islam. So some communities they respect the people, but in the African American Muslim community, not all of them. Not all of them. I want to make that clear. Not all of them, because Philly is a different vibe, right? I lived in Philly for a couple of months. Philly is a very different vibe, right? But some communities, they don't respect the imam. Sometimes this and that is because either the people are ignorant. They're ignorant, or if it's a black community, it's self-hate. It's self-hate. I worked in the multicultural community before. I got a lot of beef always from the African American Muslims. Sometimes it'd be a little bit self-hate. Sometimes it'd be, when we have fallouts and issues, sometimes they they don't know how to take people to the side and talk it out. They want to dish everything out in front of all the people's. And people turn around and say, why are these black people are acting like this? That's what they say in the end of the day. No, it's plantation politics. You said it before, one of your old videos. Plantation politics.
And so that is to say then that for a time, because Black American Muslim Opinions is an organization, is becoming an organization. We're putting in for the corporate charter already. And we're just waiting on the 501c3. Okay, we are an organization that is trying to come up with Islamic solutions to the problems in the Black American community, including the Black American Muslim community. So, with that said, maybe the solution to that would be for our imams, okay, to have more of an involvement in their own businesses and their own jobs. okay, and come to the masjid as independents. You know, if he has his own job, his own business.
The things about imams, the first thing we have to understand that because a person has the title imam doesn't mean he understands business.
Right.
So, you know, that's a little bit, the topic might be a little bit off, but I personally think from my experience and other people's experience, or imam, or you want to make that a career, that has to do about the community you work, getting a contract with them, what's in the contract. And then after that, if you want to invest in some business, you know, because when you're in Islamic studies and these things, it does take many years to master these things. So one of the things I looked into, I was thinking about last night, I was thinking about mentioning it in this talk, right, is that you have to create your own business atmosphere. Now, some brothers sell audios and tapes, but I think there's something else the Muslim community need, because the audios and stuff, you know, after a while, people might not listen to them more, or a new trend comes, or a new personality comes, people listen to that person. You need to create curriculum. Now, there's a great platform online where you could make your own books, and I think that you need to make curriculum based on what your people need and are facing, like we're doing with Black American Muslim Opinion with phase 1, to make the framework to fix our social issues with the Islamic solution. So they need to make some type of curriculum to solve some of the social issues that's going on, because some of the books they are teaching, excellent books from the scholars of the past that deal with our issues, but there's some social economical issues that we need to talk about, right? And you know, this is, I think, something that a lot of African American Muslims misunderstand. Not all, not a lot, but some of them, is that they think that social issues related to Black people has nothing to do with Islam. These are two different entities. They are not. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, when he came, who were the first people he called to Islam? His family, his people. That's the first people, right? Did he not solve the problems in the Arab community? They was into shirk.
Yes, he did.
He addressed shirk. They had some other social issues. He addressed it. Zakat is all what? Social issues, but people were poor. Give them the money, right? But the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam came for all mankind, but he first started out with his people, then expanded. So us as Muslims, African American Muslims, you cannot run from Black issues, social issues in America. You can't run from it. You can't hide from it. You're gonna hide your skin color. Even when you go to the Arab world, I lived in Egypt, right? And I deal with a lot of Arabs. Arabs who are Black like me, they don't see me as like them. I mean, from their nationality, they can say, "Oh, you're American or you're African." They respect me. I'm Muslim, alhamdulillah, show love. But you know, okay, you from a different nationality. They're gonna recognize your nationality. Not gonna say they're gonna mistreat you, but they're gonna recognize your nationality, right? They're gonna ask you questions about where you're from, and you know. So if they could recognize your nationality and don't have an issue with it, how you got issue with your own nationality?
True. I think one of the primary way to start building a secure, functional, and healthy Black society here in America is with economics, and then with the voting block. You know, we have part of that in place, part of the work is done, but the crucial finishing of the work still needs to be done. And that's
but the voting, see, the issue with voting for Black people, for Blacks, for our people, we've been voting. How long we've been voting? So because we're not together, it doesn't change anything. How did we get voting rights? We didn't vote to get voting rights. We had to fight for that. Yes, did we have to fight to get voting rights in America? White people didn't vote for us to have rights. I mean, voting rights. We fought for voting rights. So voting didn't give you rights. You had to fight to get voting rights. Same thing. If you want to fix the Black issues, it's not going to come through voting. Voting is a tool. It's a tool, but you have to have the other basic necessities for this tool to be useful, and that is economic base. Economic base. The African American Muslims should have no problem understanding this concept because it's highly built into our religion. Got to open up the fiqh book. You know, the fiqh book recognized Sharia law. If I open the fiqh books, this is one of my favorite sheikh. I'm going to see al-buyu', salat, janaza, nikah, marriage. These things are important, right? And then I'm going to look and I'm going to see what? I'm going to see business. I'm going to show you people. Here. Oh, look at this. What's this? I don't want to lose my notes. You see, I love my books. I read them. What's this, sister? Hanif, what does this say? It says sharika. What is sharika? This don't mean shirk. It says sharika. It means company, business company. How to do what business? Hey, this is in Bukhari too. Buyur, the book of business. He would have mentioned sharika. Sharika don't mean shirk. It means business, corporation, business partners.
It's basically.
This is part of Islam. It's part of Islam. It's in every fiqh book. It's in every hadith book. You must, because we don't either read or we don't skip the chapters. But the problem is we like to entertain Muslim speakers that entertain us, but we don't learn anything. Anything. They entertain us. We go there ignorant. We get entertained, and we come out ignorant. We haven't learned anything. And Brother Hanif, I know you're talking about Facebook. I know. I know. Only on Facebook. I know Hanif, he said that only on Facebook. So I know that already. So we have to start using these things, utilizing these things. If we don't utilize these things that Allah gave us, made halal, if we don't utilize them, then we become what? Blameworthy.
And part of a crucial part of building an economic base is business ownership. Okay? It's business ownership. Okay? Because if you're not on your own and you're working for somebody, okay, then it don't carry the same, because you're depending on them for your livelihood. Okay. Now, if you're depending on yourself and your own people for your livelihood, you have more of an economic base. You come together as a group of business owners and you say, okay, we're going to form. That's when you start getting into reforming a voting bloc. Like you look at all of the other immigrant groups, okay, who have come here and they form voting.
Even historically, Islamic history. How did Islam travel to some countries like China and Indonesia? The Islam traveled to China from the Sahaba and Tabi'in doing business there. How did Islam travel to Indonesia? By Muslims from India doing business there. Let's look.
That's my in my own experience, after having become a Muslim, it shifted. When I became a Muslim, it shifted my whole worldview. It shifted my entire worldview.
My name is Abul Bara. I am the founder of Black American Muslim Opinions. We are just getting started. Our mission is to openly discuss and examine social issues faced by Black Americans in their communities and formulate solutions that can be implemented in these communities from an Islamic perspective. We need your support to keep the organization going. Your donations will help us do the work necessary to help Black people overcome their social and economic challenges. Visit our website and learn more about what we do.